The WNBA has been a really hot topic. We discussed off-camera a project you guys were potentially working on a few years ago that I thought was great. Maybe you guys will be able to bring that back. But what is your guys' thoughts on just the growth of the league and how it's a real topic of conversation right now? And on top of that, the ladies fighting for, I just sat down with Kelsey Plum a few days ago before we came out here, and their revenue share is completely different. For those of you who don't know, I think the NBA is a 49-51 window split.
Yep.
They get 9% of their split. So when it's a little misinformation when people keep, oh, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. They want a different revenue split. They want more, a different cut of the pie. But what is your guys' thoughts on just the growth of the game and how it's, really common now to?
I mean, there are two ways to look at it. They've come a long way. Things have changed. There is a league. There are stars. It's growing. There are owners like the size are, really making the investment. All that's wonderful to see. But we just had a great conversation with Candace Parker, and to be reminded of how hard things were, playing in Russia and China, getting maybe 2 weeks a break on her body, a season because she had to play in two seasons.
Yep.
Being pregnant, in a league that didn't have a maternity policy, the toll that's taken on her body. I mean, and she's just 39, right? And she is one of the greats. Mm-hmm. The fact that she will not experience or did not experience the fruits of her outstanding athletic ability is sad. Yep. Why? Because she's a woman. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. So, politically you want to say, well, it's great, they're making their way, but, I say faster, better, quicker. Mm-hmm. Why do women athletes have to jump through so many hurdles? And it's not just in basketball.
Across the board.
Allison Felix can tell you the same story. We haven't figured out how to recognize and pay women for their talent, even though their name and likeness, people are making money off of them. Nike still uses Allison Felix's name and likeness, but they wouldn't pay her when she got pregnant. Women can have babies and dunk and run fast and do it all. But why are we constantly, third in line for the, for the payoff?
There's just a lack of investment. You guys you've been in the league. You see why certain teams win a lot of games.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, starts at the top.
It starts at the top,
no question.
And if there's only a couple of really understanding, I don't want to say good, I want owners who understand. It's like any other investment. You put the resources toward it,
behind it,
it will start to grow. And it's just been interesting to see what has taken them so long to start moving in that direction. Mm-hmm. I used to think it was, okay, once people start to watch it, and it'll start to grow, but it has never been any more popular than it is now. Mm-hmm. So now it's got to be, let's negotiate something fair. Mm-hmm. Because when I'm with you, it was in the last couple of years that I knew it was 9% or 7%, whatever it is. 9%, and not closer to 50%.
Yeah, I think it's more the WNBA, and it's really on them because tennis get paid well. They take care of them. The soccer girls, they get paid well. I think they solely singling out these girls. That's how I look at it because no other women's sport is really going through that.
Yeah.
In tennis, they get treated great. Soccer, they get treated great. You know what I'm saying? It's just the WNBA. So why is that is my question.
I think, too, it's also the contrast and compared to what men are making and doing compared to what, the women are doing. But one thing I think has helped the growth of the female game of late is the storylines.
Yeah.
And obviously with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese starting and developing their storyline in college, and obviously, you start hearing about them in high school, and then their storylines really start to develop in college, and to bring all that same energy into the NBA. And I think that was kind of an injection of just life and support. But the one thing I don't like about it is I feel like people feel like if you like one, you can't like the other. Like both these women can't. Unfortunately, they're going to synonymously be linked for the rest of their careers, whether they like it or not. But I also think the storyline helps both of them.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on kind of the either or mentality in this?
Yeah, Matt, I want to speak to that because I've always said if it was two guys, it would be okay to
Totally fine.
root against one of them and for the other.
Magic and Bird.
That's what happens in sports.
It would root, but it wasn't not necessarily the hate.
Yes.
I feel like.
Really? So I thought a lot of folks hated the Celtics.
Oh, you're talking about back in with the Magic
It was
Bird era.
worse.
You're right.
Yeah.
It
You're
was
right.
worse.
You are right
Yeah.
on that. You are right on that.
That's what I mean.
Mhm.
And what it's not okay for the.
Mhm.
I think the storylines of a real rivalry is good for the game.
Yes.
Yes.
And the hate is the hate. It's part of social media. It's part of society today.
Mhm.
But I thought I have been saying for the last, I don't know, maybe 10 years, you've heard me say this, that the women's game needed real drama, not fabricated drama. You needed real drama. And for the first time in the last couple of years, you saw actual beef,
Smoke.
real beef.
Real
And it
smoke.
started
Real
in
smoke.
college, though.
I love it.
And they brought it transferred it to the NBA. So that's how they get that light. So you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
And so use that.
Mm-hmm.
Use that. And then tell the good stories, tell the bad stuff, but use that because that's what draws people to sports.
Right.
Because
Storylines.
you root against
Yeah.
everybody else who's not your team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the hero villain approach has always been good for sports as well.
Always been good. And
Yeah.
it's the real reality TV.
I think the tough thing is the social media element
Yes.
to it, but that's true across
anything,
the
yeah.
board. I mean, we've talked about this on our show. It just, it just takes a normal occurrence. These young kids today, what they have to go through, what they have to be able to withstand, because social media is such a huge part of their world. I mean, there's the hate, but now the hate is in your room, on your phone,
Daily.
with you all the time. And you can't, for whatever reason, tell these kids to turn it off because they're making their living that way. I
Right.
mean, that they now are expected to stay engaged. So I think that makes it feel even worse. But as you point out, that's happening in sports across gender. It's just harder now to withstand other people's horrible opinions.
Yeah. I'm glad that mental health is a conversation now
Yes.
because of that.
Yes.
And we talked a ton yesterday just about how my approach to my kids is very mental. It's because of, keep it real, there's a lot of idiots out there with voices now.
Yep.
And not everyone deserves it, but just the negative energy that's constantly drawn on these athletes and really just people in general. And again, that's why I feel like the conversation of mental health is so important now, because there's just anytime you turn anything on, it's just negative, negative, negative.